Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk about now reverse engineering class. This is getting more exciting. This is more advanced, but don't worry. This is going to be just a high overview of what you need to know, the basics, because keep in mind it's a lot of information that you're going to be learning. So this is just the fundamentals so that you guys can move on and have a lot of exercises and start learning, okay? So let's get started. You know who I am. Follow us on HackDev for all the details and latest exercises and challenges. Okay, anyways, so let's see the agenda. We're going to be talking about reversion approaches. I mean, in my experience, how you can tackle this challenge to understand malware. Then we're going to be talking about architectures, like in this case, uh, 86 architecture, which is not very common lately for Windows, but definitely is very common for IoT devices, which still are running 86 architecture. Uh, 864, which is all the new Windows systems running on that architecture, and calling conventions. It's very important to understand how the functions are being called. You will see why, and the summary. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go with the reversing approaches. Okay, so how we can tackle the challenge of analyzing malware. First of all, is offline code analysis. This means pure reversing. Okay, so basically you will need to use tools like IDA Pro Disassembler, so that you can analyze code. You will have a really good outline of the program. The idea here is not to go line by line, understanding the whole program. That's definitely not the idea. You will learn strategies of how to focus on the meat that you really want to learn. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. It's very important because you basically need to document the functions, the flow, what the malware is doing, because at the end, sometimes it's going to take you more than 3 days, even weeks, to analyze malware. So you need to keep documenting what it is doing, documenting the function names, documenting, even adding comments to what you are learning in your analysis. Uh, it requires assembly understanding. However, today you also have the pseudocode, which means even though you have the assembly, you can always switch to a C looking pseudocode that can help you a lot, right? It's a combination of those. Now, that's offline code. Then you have live code analysis, meaning you need to run the malware in a debugger. As you remember, we talk about sandboxing and virtual machines, where you need to run those guys, okay? So basically, you need to have a combination of offline code analysis with debugging live code analysis, so you can have a combination of those worlds, so that you can have a best approach. It's not only offline, it's not only live code, it's a combination to get the best results. Okay. Once you run the malware, you will see, for example, things that you cannot see in offline code. You can see like an address that you don't see any content. You only see statically is being copied something there, but at runtime you can see what is exactly copied there. You can get the data, real data, in memory, something that you cannot see in offline, right? Okay, so again, before moving forward, it's a combination of offline code with live code, debugging and reversing, and you will see and learn during many exercises that you are going to be doing with us. Now, let's talk about the disassembler, okay? So basically, you don't need to fully understand a disassembler. It's just a quick intro for you so that you can understand how a disassembler works, meaning how those instructions, those assembly instructions that you see in IDA Pro or in Ghidra or those tools, how it's actually being created, okay? So everything starts with bytes. If you remember in the Windows formats class, we talk about the different sections a program can have, and the text section is the one that holds the data code. So the disassembler goes into that section, grabs all the bytes, and parse them, and then it starts reading all the bytes. All those bytes are called opcodes. So let's see an example of how they realize, for example, that these 3 bytes actually is a move instruction. Okay. Before moving forward, a move instruction basically means data from a source, which is the right side of the comma, is going to be moved into the left side, which is the destination. Okay, so how the disassembler knows that? Okay, let's see. So basically, the disassembler goes and see, okay, I'm going to start reading the bytes, and I see the first byte, which is AB. Because of this AB, which is called the instruction opcode, he knows this is a move operand. And because of that, he knows that then it requires 2 more bytes to complete this whole instruction. Depends on this opcode, it will require maybe more bytes other than 2. For example, a call instruction requires 4 more bytes, So it depends on the first byte that the disassembler knows how many more it needs. Okay, so in this case, AB, it says it's a move. Perfect. Now he knows that since it is a move, the next byte, 79, is going to tell me what is the source and the destination and the format. Let's see that. Remember that this 79 is a byte, and this byte is 8 bits. These 8 bits are split into 2 bits. The first 2 bits is called the mod, and the mod is going to tell us basically the format of the source address. Okay, remember that the source address is where the data is going to be copied from. So in this case, it tells us, okay, these first 2 bits tell us that the format is actually this double word PTR. And what that means? Okay, that means that the source is actually an address that is going to hold in a specific pointer that is going to have an address where you're going to get the data from. Okay, this format can be different. This format can be maybe just a register, not even a pointer to an address. This can be just simply, let's say, like an ECX here instead of this whole pointer to an address. So okay, so that's very important, the format. So in this case, for example, it's telling, okay, you will find in the source a pointer that is double word, means 4 bytes. That means because this is 32 bits. And there you will find a register that is going to provide you with an address, and you need to grab the content of that address to get the data. Okay, that's why the format is very important. Okay, I know the format. Then the next 3 bits tell us what is the destination address. In this case, is the register EDI. Okay, these 3 bits, if they are changed, this can be another register, for example. Okay, now the last 3 bits tell us what is the source register. It can be ECX, it can be EDX, EAX, so different registers. Okay, and the last one, now we completed this 79, right? This 79 tell us the format, the destination, and the source address, the source registers. Perfect. Now, the last byte tell us the displacement, means how many bytes are gonna be added to the source address. In this case, is 4. Meaning, from ECX plus 4, you're gonna find an address, and the content of that address is gonna be copied to EDI. That's why this 4 comes in the displacement, and it gets right here. Okay, this completes the whole instruction. Let's see another example. In this example, you see that we again have an 8B. Again, it's a move instruction. You can see it's here. Now, see that now is not 43. Sorry, instead of 79, now it's 43. And you can see that now, because of this 43, it tells us that the destination is EAX instead of EDI. And then the source is again a double word, but now it's EBX, not ECX. And finally, the displacement is 50 hexadecimal. That's why we have this 50 here, guys. You see? But see here in this example, we have above this move instruction where the source is actually an address. Also, you can see here in the next instruction that the source is a register. It's a different format. These variations is what this mod 2 bytes, this mod 2 bits tell us, okay? And that's exactly the way every single byte is parsed by disassembler, and that way he knows different kind of operands. We are gonna see in the next slides many examples of other commands in assembly, but this is more for you to understand how the disassembler works, okay? Okay, now let's see. This is very, very important, guys. Now let's see how the disassembler views work. In this side, you can see all the disassembler in a debugger, okay? But you can see it's one line after the other one. It's very hard to know this jump, where it's going. You know, here there is a call, then another jump. So the flow is impossible to understand. But if we go to IDA or any other disassembler, you can see now you have a flow. You can see how this chunk jumps, depends on a comparison. It jumps here, otherwise it jumps here, and then you can easily see the flow. This, what you are seeing here, guys, is exactly the combination of offline analysis and live debugging. Because basically, in the right side, you will understand the flow in a high overview, and in the left side, you're gonna focus on real data at runtime. So for example, you're gonna say, I understand this whole flow. I don't wanna enter into this loop here. Sorry, it's not a loop. I don't wanna enter into this call, for example. I wanna just jump right straight into this function right here. So I can put a breakpoint right here instead of jumping here. Since I can see the flow, right? I can easily see where I wanna jump to, put a breakpoint in my debugger, and then jump there and keep analyzing, okay? That's why these two views is very important to understand the purpose of each of them. Okay,